But before anything else, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any uploads in the future. Without further ado, let's get on into the video.
Secretary, when you met with the UN commissioner in Geneva, did they give you, I'm curious, a warning of some sort that the President Duterte could be brought to the ICC?
No.
No.
No. No.
It was not discussed?
No, it was not discussed at all, and I don't think it was right for them to say that. And I don't think, not only was it not right for them to say that, that it was correct in any event that he can be prosecuted under international law.
Okay, all right. While the President he's facing some issues abroad with this Human Rights Watch, you're facing your own issues. Frankly, I think let's clarify this once and for all. And I want it to be clear before you face the Commission on Appointments again. Today, as we speak, this very Monday, are you a Filipino citizen?
I'll look at you straight in the eye, Karen. I am a Filipino citizen. I am not an American. I am not a dual citizen. I am not stateless. I am a Filipino citizen, and I am a Filipino in thought, in word, and in deed.
Okay, I'm just going to get very detailed. Do you carry a Filipino passport?
Yes, I've always carried a Filipino passport.
Okay, now, in 2016, before you were appointed as Foreign Affairs Secretary, you did relinquish your U.S. citizenship. Is that correct?
No, that is not quite correct.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, explain that.
Yes. In November 24, 26 of 1986, I was granted U.S. citizenship.
Okay.
But at the time that I was granted U.S. citizenship, I had a preconceived intent of returning back to the Philippines. Remember, this was November of 1986.
Okay.
In February of 1986, during People Power, soon after that, I went home to the Philippines.
Yes.
And I made plans to already go back to the Philippines.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in November 24 of 1986, you took your oath as a U.S. citizen.
That is correct.
You did?
Yes. But
in taking your oath, does that make you a U.S. citizen?
well, in taking my oath, does not make me a U.S. citizen if precisely the basis upon which the grant of American citizenship is flawed and is defective. I would not have, and I did not acquire legally American citizenship. And it is precisely for that reason that 3 months after, in January of 1987, I returned back to the Philippines, and this consolidated the position that I did not legally acquire U.S. citizenship, and I returned all of my papers. I executed an affidavit telling the American authorities that I did not qualify, and this is my right. And more importantly, Karen, when I went back to the Philippines, I went back as a Filipino. I carried my Philippine passport.
You've never had an American passport?
I had an American passport, but that has already been returned together with my naturalization certificate.
All right, but let's stick, because you keep saying that you were never a U.S. citizen. But on November 26 of 1986, it says here that you were granted U.S. citizenship by the U.S. District Court of New Jersey under petition 128-31295.
That's my own statement of the affidavit I made.
Okay, so therefore you were a U.S. citizen?
No, this is precisely my point.
But you were granted a U.S. citizenship?
Yeah, even if you're granted U.S. citizenship, if the grant of U.S. citizenship at the time it was granted, you were not qualified.
Why wouldn't you be qualified?
This is precisely the preconceived intent under American law, under U.S. Immigration and Nationality Act. If at the time you applied for U.S. citizenship, and at the time that you were granted, you have that preconceived intent of abandoning your U.S. residency, and you in fact abandon your residency within 2 years after obtaining that U.S. citizenship, you are disqualified from being an American citizen. And this is what our people should understand.
My question is, why do that?
Huh?
Why go through the oath of being a U.S. citizen if in the end you have a preconceived intent to actually abandon being a US citizen?
You see the circumstances, Karen, when that application for U.S. citizenship was made was after Ninoy had died.
Yes.
And we had all it was one of the lowest point of those there fighting for freedom for the Philippines in the United States, that even included my former law partner, Senator Maceda, and the rest. And when we applied for that, when I applied for that, I never expected that President Marcos would be leaving the country, would be ousted from the country. And so when the ouster came, my application was already there. And when I came back and I took my oath, I had that preconceived intent already, because I had just come back from the Philippines and looked at the conditions, and that I said I was immediately going back.
Okay.